Hello, welcome to another episode of Talkin' Rangers. Today is Tuesday, March 17th. This is episode 84 of the Talkin' Rangers podcast. Thank you, as always, for joining us. Make sure to please like and subscribe here on YouTube. Episode 84, Rangers 2025-2026 season continues to roll on. We have hit the middle of March, almost over with March here as we get to more so the latter parts of March, coming out of the Olympic break. Lots of games since that point, and only about a month left in the season. I think actually March 15th, I think it was exactly 1 month left. I believe their last game's April 15th. So a little less than a month left in the season for the New York Rangers before a massive offseason comes up. Trade deadline has since passed. Rangers are actually starting to win some hockey games, actually starting to play some good hockey. Of course, the time of year when it matters the least, they start to win games. They start to pick up some points. They were winners of 4 in a row up until last night's loss in Artemi Panarin's return with the Kings. Get the Devils again tomorrow in a little Hudson River rivalry. Joe, how's it going? Season's almost over. Rangers playing better. Gabe Perreault looks good. Lafreniere, all out of the middle of nowhere, is looking like the player that they gave the contract to. Hopefully that continues. I doubt it. I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to continue, but for right now, it is good to see him playing well. It's especially good to see Gabe Perreault playing really, really well. So in what has been a very bad season, I know the wins are hurting the draft positioning, but what I will say to that point is at the very least it's some of the young guys chipping in. It's Lafreniere looking good. It's Gabe Perreault looking good. It's not like this is, Ty Cartier and Connor Sherry every night scoring 2-3 goals. So
Cartier has looked good.
Yeah, he has. But we're like the Taylor Radishes of the world. These are, some of the younger players that are going to be here moving forward, are going to be a part of this team, like it or not. They're going to be key pieces to this rebuild, retool, whatever Chris Drury wants to label it. So seeing them play well is a positive.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want them to kind of tank and get the better draft lottery odds, but I mean, like, you can't really complain when you see like Lafreniere and Cooley and Perreault and like all like the younger guys kind of stepping up and kind of taking more of a role in the team where like Lafreniere and Perreault kind of took a little bit of like a back seat when, guys like Panarin were still here and even like Kreider for a little bit of last year when, Perreault got called up still. But it seems like the team offensively looks a little bit better. Yeah, I mean, also maybe because Miller wasn't playing too. It's funny that, the 2 games that Miller plays, offense didn't look great. I mean, the last 2 games, I know they won the game against the Wild, but I mean, they got outshot by like 40. Yeah, I mean, but it is nice. If you can win games with your young guys and kind of develop them, then you can kind of take the wins there. But obviously, you still want to get decent odds in the lottery. But I think that, like, it's pretty good to see guys playing well. We're like, well, you said, like a little less than a month left of the season. Oh, it's been another kind of, long, drooling season where there really was a lot of downs, not many ups, but I mean, if you finish on a little bit of a high note here, kind of puts some like hope maybe for next year where the team is a little bit better, but with a couple of the young guys playing well. But yeah, I mean, Igor's playing well, young guys are playing well. We'll see what happens. I don't really know. I think that they've kind of gotten to a point where it's kind of like a run the clock out situation where, see like, where guys it could be in the offseason, whether, they're trade guys like a Trocheck or like the Foxes of the world, but we'll see what happens. I mean, like I said, we have a month left. I think the goal this last month is just to see them play well as far as like, Lafreniere and Perreault continue to play well. And then maybe, guys like Zibanejad, a little bit of the older guys you want us to continue to still play solid. I mean, I don't know, I'm kind of done with Miller, to be honest with you. I kind of want him off the team. I just don't care for him. He doesn't really bring anything to the team.
The win streak started after he got hurt.
Yeah, I mean, and he comes back and they barely beat the Wild, and then they got, outplayed by the Kings. So we're a good team, but he contributes absolutely nothing to this team. I think that it's pretty obvious that he is a problem on this team, and I don't know, Jerry's got to find a way to get rid of him. But like I said, a lot of kind of, pretty much gonna be a positive episode, I think, where like, the team is playing well. Like you said, the young guys are playing well, but I don't know. We'll see. We do also might have a pretty big guest coming on the podcast soon. We're in the talks with Will Cooley. I don't know. We might get him on. We'll see.
Early stages.
Yeah, I mean, it's early stages of talking. That we got a connection here. I have I got a connection pretty well. It'd be cool to get someone on that. I know he's not having a big record year, but he's a guy that is part of this young core too. That'd be kind of cool to kind of pick his brain. But other than that, like I said, it's going to be probably a long off season, but an interesting one. Should be a fun off season. Usually the Rangers don't have fun off seasons. Usually just boring. So
yeah, I mean, last off season was rough.
Yeah,
there wasn't much going on. Off the top of my head, I mean, it was basically the trades happened with Kreider, which you knew was happening. A lot of the stuff happened during the season, which was kind of what created the whole firestorm last year. They're going to have more cap space this year. Drury is going to – looks like we lost Joe. In terms of this offseason, they'll have the cap space. They'll have assets there. This is the one concern that you do have with Drury is potentially, overpaying for guys making dumb moves to try and cut corners in this rebuild. But needless to say, the good thing is you're seeing the young guys play well. And I will say, not that I go into this offseason with high expectations for the Rangers' future, and not that I'm all of a sudden saying that the Rangers are going to quickly turn this thing around and be a totally different team next year. But you do go into the offseason if Gabe, Perreault, and Lafreniere continue this play over the final couple of weeks here, as like you mentioned, good way to put it is you kind of just run the clock out on the season. You do go into the offseason feeling a lot better, especially about Perreault, because this is a guy that's only in his second season, only played 5 games last year, barely played in those 5 games, was a healthy scratch when the team was out of it, which was malpractice by Coach Peter, the legendary Coach Peter, as we like to call him here. He comes back this season, and he's playing really well. He's been up in the top 6 on that Mika Lafreniere line. Has had a lot of good chemistry with Mika, has looked good with Mika, has had a lot of nice plays to Laf as well. They've really connected. Laf's played well with him. So yeah, it's been all really positive signs. He's got 18 points in 34 games, 7 goals, 11 assists. You look at this month alone in the month of March, it's Gabe March, I guess we can call it now, and Lafreniere March, right? Between the two, they've got 21 points. 12 goals, and they've got or 11 goals rather between the two of them. 10 goals rather. I'm sorry, my math's terrible. 10 goals, 11 assists for those 21 points. So they've been really, really impressive. Pros had a couple multi-point games. He had the 3-point game against the Columbus, the 2-point game against Philly. Yeah, 3 in a row, the Philly, Flames, and Winnipeg. So they've come in bunches. The goals have been good. The passing's been excellent. The vision's been excellent. The IQ's been really, really good. There's been a couple times where I thought that maybe he passed he should have shot instead of pass. But there has also been moments where he's taken the smart shot. He's been in good position. So I've been very happy with what I've seen from Perreault. After seeing this, I guess, from Perreault over the last couple of games, do your expectations starting to change for him as to what he can be for this team? I think we always said, look, he's only 20 years old. He's going to be 21 here in a couple of months once May rolls around. So next season, he'll be in his age 21 season after a good chunk of playing time this year. The expectations changed all. Do you believe a little bit more in Perreault now than maybe you did, let's say, earlier in the year before this hot stretch?
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of had to see what he was going to be when he was able to get the first line minutes. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he was on the power play until freaking JT Miller came back, which stupid, but whatever. But yeah, I think that just the confidence level that I see out of him is so much higher than we've ever seen him before. Obviously, when he's like I said, getting the ice time now, you see him with the puck more. You see him extended ice time where he's still kind of, I guess, going to be on the power play. But I mean, as of right now, Miller's on there over him. But when he was playing power play 1, he's playing really well with Lafreniere and Zibanejad. You kind of see okay, this could be something. He could be a good player. And I think obviously, the concerns are with his skating, but if he's able to, make these kind of passes and be able to kind of play and adapt to, his line mates kind of a game, which I think he can, which is going to be big for him. And, just the hockey IQ, I think is like very, very high, where you see him making really smart plays. He's a great passer, little like, like those like little like cheeky like touch passes, or like, he kind of just like chops at it and like sends it back door, like kind of like the eyes in the back of the head kind of passes that he's able to make, which is pretty good, like you said, for like a 21-year-old. And I think that, I'd say I kind of expected this kind of a game out of him, but I was just kind of waiting to kind of
where you got the full opportunity.
I mean, like, because you can't really make too much of a judgment on someone based off of the ice time that he was getting. But I think, once the ice time's going to come, I actually, I do think he's going to be a good player. I think you can see him maybe being like a 70-point player eventually. I think he still have to play. He'll still have to play with someone that can kind of drive the play, because he's not a great skater. But I think he can feast on like the power play and be able to play with a guy that can kind of drive the play. Just because, like I said, he's so smart. He knows where to be. He's a good passer. And I also will say this too. I think you see his confidence level, not only with like the puck and skating, but maybe more with the physicality of the game. I think he's getting more comfortable with it, which is pretty good for a player his size, because he's not very big and he's not too strong, at least at this point. And, that's kind of concerning for some players, where is their body going to be able to adapt to the physicality and the size of the game? And I think you're starting to see him get more confident and more aggressive and being able to play with the physicality of the NHL. So I've seen a lot out of him, and I'll say yes, that I have heightened my expectations, just because we finally have seen his play with the extended minutes in the power play one and the first line minutes with like Lafreniere and Zibanejad. But I've been very impressed.
Yeah, and it's a shame that it's a shame that he's not on the power play with JT Miller back. Miller does something. I'm right there with you. Miller's got to be off this team. We talked about, I think, last episode, how much of an unlikable captain he is. He just sucks. Like, he's not even good. I don't think he's very good in the locker room. He never has anything good to say with the media. It's always
complaining about the fans.
Yeah, it's complaining about the fans. Or earlier in the year, it's, don't worry, it's just 3 games, just 4 games, just 5 games. Well, now it's been 60+ games of the same garbage. But that's besides the point. We're a little bit more positivity. I don't want to bring in the negativity here when we're talking about Perreault, but that's what's been nice, is he's getting the power play minutes, which we haven't seen a lot with Rangers prospects. He's earned those minutes. He's taking advantage of those minutes. He's getting the top 6 minutes. He's been good with those top 6 minutes, and the point totals are there, and that's big, because I even going back to like Kakko and Lafreniere when they first coming up, specifically Kakko too. Like, I remember there was a lot of, because Perreault was in this boat there for a little while. I'm not trying to compare the two, but there was a little while there too where it was like, oh, the eye test is good. He's doing a lot of good things, but he wasn't showing up in the stat sheet. It's nice to see Perreault actually show up in the stat sheet. Like, it's nice to see.
Like, we haven't seen like a kid this young
produce
like
play
that
this well.
Points. Like,
exactly.
And Kakko guys
never did it. Kakko never did it.
They look good, like you said. They had flashes. But they weren't like, they didn't have like point streaks like that where they were really earlier in their career.
And and it was like they'd get chances, but they couldn't finish them, or there would be good moments that they just couldn't finish, or whatever, or like they were doing the right things on the ice. They were doing the things that don't show up in the stat sheet, but eventually, as a first-round pick, especially for Laf and Kakko, top 2 picks, they're in a different category of their own. But for Gabe Perreault, he's still a first-round pick, right? 23rd overall. You've got to see him. You've got to show up in the stat sheet. It's one thing to have flashes. It's one thing to, do the things that don't pop up in the stat sheet well and all that stuff. And he has put on a little bit more size, and there's been a little more noticeable in terms of a size standpoint, as opposed to last year where he was kind of getting pushed around. It was tough to tell. I mean, it was only 5 games. It's such a small sample size, and he was buried. But this year you're seeing a little bit more of that. He still has ways to go in that aspect from an NHL level. But yeah, like you said, I can't remember a time where you had Kakko or Lafreniere go out there and put up 5 points across 3 games, or have, multiple, or 6 points across 3 games, rather. Games. 3 straight multiple point games. He then had a 3-point game against Columbus. I mean, he's had 10 points in a month. That's awesome stuff. 18 points in 34 games. He's been a point per game player this month. That's excellent to see. Like, he's showing legitimate signs, like you mentioned, of, can he be a 70-point guy? Can he be like a ceiling of an 80-point guy? The numbers he's showing you, the play he's showing you, makes you believe he can. So I'm really starting to buy the Perreault stock. I always had my, I guess, positive feelings towards Perreault, and I also had my doubts just with how Rangers prospects have played out. But you start to feel, you got to feel good. You got to feel happy about it. It's nice to see him playing, getting the play time. Should still be on the power play. That's disappointing. But, I mean, It's just too like I understand JT Miller's the veteran, the captain, all that stuff. But if you are talking about actually helping you win games, Pro's better on the power play. He's better right now than JT Miller. It just doesn't make sense at all. Development, it doesn't make sense. And actually winning games. Like, it's one thing if JT Miller was the JT Miller of even, let's say, last year when he came over, the JT Miller of old. That's one thing. But he's like, Perreault is actually playing better than JT Miller right now from both sides, the development side and in actual winning hockey games. It doesn't make sense. There's no good reasoning behind it. It's a terrible move by Sullivan, in my opinion. And I know we both agree on that.
I mean, even like Trocheck, you can take him off the power play. He's got to play power play. It doesn't make any sense to me. You don't need 3 centers out on the power play.
Yeah, I agree. Right there with you. But other than that, it's been good. It's been good to see this type of play from Perreault. You hope it can continue here. And look, we want a guy that you can legitimately feel good about building around. If Perreault continues this play going into next season, you feel like, all right, we've actually got a good, young, top 6 forward that is actually showing you something. And it's not just blind faith. Like, there's actually tangible evidence that Perreault can play at a high level in this league right now. And I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's still only been 34 games this year. It's still only been 39 career games played, but he's showing you more than Lafreniere or Kakko ever did when they first came up. He's showing you more than Othman ever did, some of these other busts ever did. I mean, Othman, you and I could probably play. Yeah, they did trade him. You and I could probably show more in 40 games than Othman if we played in the NHL at this point. So it's nice to see, too, just from the whole Rangers prospect standpoint. Maybe they hit on one. Maybe.
Like, talking about prospects or guys that you didn't think they hit on. I mean, how good has Lafreniere been? And he gets a trick. He won first NHL first star of the week.
Star of the week, yep. Where is that? Imagine telling somebody that a couple weeks ago.
It's insane. I mean, he's been great too. He's skating the puck well. He's shooting the puck very well too. He's, quick trigger, getting a lot of shots on the net. I mean, he's been great too. I mean, like I said, it's been nice to see him play well too. I mean, a guy that, obviously a lot of haters, rightfully so, for his game. Wasn't really developing for like a first overall pick, but dude, if this guy can get you 80 points next year, we'll take it. I mean, he's playing well. I mean, I don't think he had a point in the last 2 games, but prior to that, I think he had like 15 in his last like 10 games. And like he has like 7 goals in his last like 9 games or something now. It's crazy. I mean, he's scoring, he's playing well. That's something that I really, really, really like seeing because, like we said, like, I mean, he had looked pretty lost, ever since that like career year, if you want to put it. I guess it was a career, but I mean, like for him and like his standards as a first overall pick, I mean, 57 points isn't something you should really be proud of, I guess. But at the same time, he's playing well that year. And then he took a big step back last year and then wasn't great for majority of this year. And then, I mean, hey, you get rid of Panarin and it's been great for him. I mean, the team has been playing really well since Panarin. So I've been really happy with Lafreniere.
Yeah, 100%. And you mentioned some of the goals he's had since the Olympic break. Go back to that Philly game. They've played 12 games. He's been a point-per-game player, 12 points in 12 games, 7 goals, 5 assists. In the month of March, he's had 11 of those points come in with 6 goals, 5 assists. He had the hat trick against the Flames. He had the 3 straight games with, the 5 goals in 3 games, 1 against Philly, the Flames, and then had 1 against Winnipeg as well. Also had an assist in that game. Similar to Perreault, he's had 4 multi-point games this month. He's had the Toronto game, he had 3 points. The Flyers game, he had 2 points. The 3 goals against the Flames, and then the 2 points against Winnipeg. So he's been awesome. Look, still just 24 years old. You like to see this from Lafreniere. This is a guy that you gave the new contract to last season. He was playing well up until that point, right? 23, 24, he had that career year, went off for 57 points. You went into last year with the expectation of, man, he could potentially be a 60-plus point guy, almost touched 30 goals that season. And there was times, too, where he was getting robbed. There was a couple snake-bitten chances with Lafreniere 2 years ago where you were saying he could easily have 32, 33 goals. You went into last season, and everybody expected way more than what he showed. He started the year well, similar to kind of the Rangers as a whole. Right? I think, 12-4-1, and then the memo went out, and everything fell apart. And right as the extension happened, he fell apart, was awful the rest of the season. He went from 28 goals to 17, below 20 goals. which is unacceptable after having a year where you almost touched 30. And then you went into this year, and he's been quiet for most of the season, but to go out there now, he's going to be a 20-plus goal scorer. Like, he is quietly putting together a 50-plus point season. He's quietly putting together a year that'll finish close to what he had in 23-24. Now, goals-wise, he probably won't get exactly there, but there's a world where he finishes here with 20 goals, 23 goals, like 30 assists, and he's in the range of, 53, 20 goals, and he's at, 33 assists. That'd be like 53 points around there. Like, that's a realistic possibility. 23 goals, 33
really
assists,
good for
somewhere around there.
How bad he was for large stretches of the season.
Yeah, for how bad he was since Panarin's left, he's taken off. To be a 20-plus goal scorer would be the second time in his career he's done that. That's good to see. That's a positive in what has been a very bad season. I think if you would have told anybody Lafreniere, even just coming out of the Olympic break, would be a 50-plus point player this season and a 20-plus goal scorer this year, I think we all probably would have thought you were crazy, because he went into the Olympic break not playing well. This was a guy that hasn't played well really all year. He had some stretches in January. There were some moments, I will say, in January where he had a couple multi-point games, if I remember correctly. I think he had a multi-point game in the Winter Classic. I think the one Flyers game after the letter, I think he had 2 or 3 points. So there were a few of those games, but for the most part, it's been poor this year. So for him to finish with 20-plus goals, assuming he gets 1 goal in the next month, which should happen, it's good. And it's good because you're locked into this contract. They weren't going to trade him, even though I think a lot of Ranger fans would have saw the vision of the possibility of trading him. Somebody was willing to take that on, but he's 24 years old. You like to see him doing well. If Lafreniere can do this for you all season and give you this play consistently, you take that.
Yeah.
100%. So
been good.
Plus, it's him and Perreault on that line together playing well, which is another positive in all this.
Yeah. No, I think, I think for the most part, like I think everyone's playing well. I think, Cartier's been a really good find, I guess. I mean, he's been pretty well. I think he was like over a point a game or whatever in the last week or whatever. So it's been kind of cool to see him playing well.
Yep.
I thought Edstrom's looked pretty good since coming back from injury. I know he missed a lot of time. I think the defense has been good. I think Schneider's been playing well. Gavrikov had like 13 points in like 13 games prior to the game yesterday, which is insane because he's a defensive defenseman. And then, obviously Fox.
The power play goals this year from Gavrikov.
Dude, Gavrikov,
he's at a career high in power play goals, I think it's been.
It's crazy. He's been really good this year, and then he's been scoring. So, kind of an added bonus because he's such a good defensive defenseman. And then I think Igor's been pretty good. He wasn't great in his last game yesterday, but I think he's been pretty solid for the most part. I mean, obviously he stood on his head, single-handedly beat the Wild. And then, feels like Eriksson coming through the crease and kind of throws himself kind of into the room, draws a whole crowd and the power play. I mean, you can think what you want about that. I mean, I'm not like a huge fan of it because I don't want him to get hurt, but Igor and his white helmet Igor is different breed of a goalie.
Yeah. No, Gavrikov's been really good, been really impressive in terms of the goal scoring. There's never been a year we had over double digits goals. To have 13 goals in one season, he's going to be he's 30-point player. I mean, that's, that's not what any of us expected. Not what anybody's asked for. It's a nice bonus. If you would add 5 or 6 goals, that's about on par for him. You take that. But the 13 goals, he's been scoring at a much higher clip, which has been nice. And the Igor white mask
is so funny.
It does. I just don't get it because the whole road game, I know they asked a question about it. I think it was Molly Walker who asked him. I think he didn't have it on the road, but then they came back home and he's still, or is it getting repairs or something?
I think he wanted to keep it on.
I guess so.
He won't wear it the next game, I guarantee. It's funny though.
Next game. So tomorrow you think he'll go back to the regular mask?
He'll wear it against the Devils. No. But I don't know. I think it's funny. It's good to see them playing well. I will say this. I know, I keep saying, it's frustrating at some points where you want them to lose, but I think outside of JT Miller, I'm happy. JT Miller I don't have any good things to say about him.
Yeah.
I'm kind of tired of his shenanigans. We were talking about, he's not really good with the fans. He's not really good on the ice and the pressers and stuff. But
He's a terrible captain.
yeah, he's not.
I think JT Miller wasn't a captain. You can, I guess, live with it. But the fact that he's the captain and he's like the leader of the team, he's the face of this thing. He doesn't do anything well from that standpoint.
No, it made absolutely no sense making him the captain. But whatever. I mean,
you're always losing that. You're always going to lose that battle, especially in this market. You're never going to win fighting the fans. It's never going to work. Who knows
if he'll, if he'll get moved or not in the offseason. Let's just see. But I know we didn't really talk about this because I don't think we had an episode after this. But like, were you any, what was kind of your reaction that they didn't move on from Trocheck? They kind of held on to him.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
For months, it's feel like Trocheck's been getting dealt. In terms of, I don't hate it. Like, I'm okay with it. I do think, look, I hate Drury. I hate Drury just as much as the next guy. But there were some portion of the fan base that's like, oh, you should have just traded Trocheck just to get anything for him. I tend to disagree a bit. Yeah, I disagree with that a bit because you can't in one breath complain about the Panarin trade package and then just sell off Trocheck for nothing. Like, you can't blame Drury for what you got back in the Panarin trade package, not getting a first, only Liam Greentree and a third. But yeah, in the same breath, so you should have just traded Trocheck and just got anything for him. Like, you can't do that. You can't complain about a package and then complain that Drury would trade away a player for under what he had his value. So I think you could have got a first for Trocheck. Nobody was willing to give him a first. Their asking price was too high, specifically
they were asking for more than a first. I think
more than a first.
Was a discrepancy.
Yeah,
I think they would have definitely gotten a first for him.
Yeah, I think it was first, and what else was?
I don't really know. I think a first and maybe like a second, like a high end prospect. They were asking for a lot, rightfully so, though.
Yeah, and look, Trocheck's a very good player. Would be a very good player for any playoff contending team. Minnesota being one of the teams that was highly on his board, or highly on the Trocheck trade destinations, I should say. So I have no issues with Drury not pulling the trigger on that one, to be honest with you. And again, we're both as critical as Drury as anybody. But for that one, I'm not going to sit here and crush him for it. They got something for Hoffman that's better than nothing. He was terrible.
I agree. So I think that, you don't really want to trade him
just to trade him.
Yeah, I think
he is, and you can always deal him in the summer. Yeah, I think there's a still good chance he's gone in the summer.
Yeah, I think he'll get traded in the summer, but you have all the leverage there where there's no point of getting the value that you don't think you can get for him. And then, like you said, we moved Hoffman. He's gone. Good riddance. I really didn't have anything nice to say about him. He was terrible. I'm glad they got rid of him. And then Carrick, I thought they got a good return for Carrick. I was kind of happy. I was happy with him. I thought he was a good Ranger, but again, I think they did a good job getting like a third. I think maybe a sixth.
For Carrick, I believe it was a third, and
from the Sabres, and then Hoffman went to
Buffalo. Yeah, Hoffman, to get anything for him, you take that every day of the week for. Yeah, I believe it was.
That's a prospect. I think it was like Jacob
Battaglia.
I don't know what to say.
Here's my thing with Hoffman, okay? And this is where I will criticize Drury. They were hesitant to deal Kakko. They were hesitant to deal Hoffman. All this garbage.
And they pretty much got for nothing. Or got rid of for nothing.
Yeah, and then instead you get rid of him for nothing. It's like you've been afraid to trade him for years now for better players. Then you deal Kakko for Borgen and you trade Hoffman for Battaglia.
Who probably will never play for the Rangers.
Yeah, who probably will never play. So that I will be critical. Yeah. But the whole, you didn't trade Trocheck, I'm not trading a guy just to trade him, especially after what happened with Panarin, where you get fleeced, I think. I mean, not get a first for Panarin is unacceptable. Well, maybe Liam Greentree pairs out. Who knows? Yeah. Maybe this Gabe Perreault performance is a sign of things to come, that prospects are actually going to start to pan out here.
It's a turn, maybe like getting, the new age.
It's a turning point.
Where all of them will hit. You know how like usually none of them hit?
Yeah.
All of them. No. I will say this too, I know you mentioned Panarin. Really weird seeing Panarin. I don't know. It's like just weird. It's like same thing with Kreider.
See Trocheck messing with him.
Yeah, it was so weird seeing him not a Ranger. And like, he was obviously saying some stuff about the game, like before the game that, obviously he misses playing with the guys, and he was joking about like the Ranger fans don't really care anymore, and he wants like the Ranger players to get all traded to LA. I did see this. I don't think we mentioned it. Where I thought it was pretty cool. At the end of the game, he goes and kind of greets everyone.
Yeah,
I think you might
for
have
the
mentioned it
fans.
earlier, but yeah, I just think that's awesome out of him. I think it's really cool. Because it just shows you how much he really appreciated being a Ranger and the fans and stuff.
Yeah,
And just kind of to some degree sad, kind of seeing a player that we kind of grew up watching playing on the Rangers and having all those big seasons.
yeah.
Granted, obviously, wasn't great in the playoffs,
Best,
but
yeah, but still one of the best free agent signing in franchise history.
mm-hmm. It's
Lived
just
up to every penny.
it's weird seeing
Yeah,
him not in the Rangers. It's just so I don't know. I just think it's so weird seeing a guy that's
yeah,
been with them for that
100%.
long.
It was very strange. I think, and
It got a little bit to take, took a little to get used to seeing.
Yeah.
He's not with the Rangers.
Yeah, definitely. Even going through his pregame warm-up where he's always the last one on the ice, and then quickly skates off. Like, that was weird to see. I saw a video of that on Twitter, and then obviously the game itself, it was strange watching it and seeing him. And then you had the Trocheck post with them. It was Fox, Laf, Trocheck, Panarin, I think it was, that they were walking down the bridge there at the Garden. Then he said, get all of them to trade them to LA. So yeah, Panarin was an awesome Ranger, awesome guy too, just from a fan perspective, was funny, upbeat, great player on the ice. So yeah, I love Panarin. Everybody, I think all Rangers fans were on board with that.
Still have his jersey.
Yeah, still have his jersey.
That's like a jersey.
Well,
I think that's a jersey you keep. But sometimes your players, I had a Sauce Gardner jersey. Got rid of it. Didn't want that. But a player like Panarin, great with the Rangers. Did well because the Rangers kind of failed him. He didn't really fail the Rangers.
Yeah.
So that's a jersey that we'll keep.
Yeah. Do you see a world where he ever comes back?
No chance. He's gonna be 35 when that contract's up, or 36.
Yeah, it's 2 years. They don't sign him back. It's like a 2-year deal.
The Rangers are bad. So I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see them try to sign a 37-year-old Artemi Panarin. So.
Yeah. Think he'd come back and retire as a Ranger?
I don't know. I guess here maybe a better question for you, kind of coming off that, would be: do you think he gets his number retired by the Rangers?
Probably not.
Yeah, he didn't win, so.
There's people that debate Kreider.
Yeah, okay. I think
if you're going to debate Kreider, there's no chance you're putting Panarin up in the rafters.
I think Kreider will probably be up there.
I think so too.
I think it'll take time, but I think eventually it will.
And I think Kreider will retire Ranger.
You think he's going to come back after next year?
Whenever I could see a world whenever he's done.
And then I think he's got a year after this year. And I don't think he extended with the Ducks. Maybe he comes back.
I don't know necessarily coming back to play, but I could see him signing
a one-day contract.
Yeah, one-day contract to retire as a Ranger. I could see Panarin doing the same. He legitimately loved it here. And you could tell he's upset that they traded him.
Yeah, it seemed like he didn't want to get traded, which
no, he was fine here. He was content. He loved the city, loved the fans.
Yeah, for the organization, it made sense. But it's obviously sad to see a guy that was so beloved and a good Ranger player overall.
Yeah,
kind of get traded.
It was weird. Now Kreider was strange. I think what made Panarin so strange is that it's so new still. Kreider was dealt in the offseason. And then look, Soucy doesn't count.
Yeah, I don't care about that. Even Carrick, I don't think will be weird. He wasn't around that long.
No, and nor were they that impactful as much. Look, Carrick was a solid fourth-line player, but Soucy was stunk. But they weren't here long enough. They weren't as impactful as Panarin.
What about the Othman return?
The Othman return, they should boo him.
I think if he ever comes back here,
they should boo him. They shouldn't even give him a video. Play his goal against the Flames, and that's it.
His only goal as a Ranger.
It's probably his only goal of his career at this point.
I don't know if he'll ever score again.
He'll retire with the one goal. Were you there for the Spencer Martin win and the Brandon Othman goal the day after the letter?
That's so funny.
In terms of Panarin, that's what made it so weird. Is he was less than 2 months ago, he was a Ranger. Yeah. And then to get traded, go to the West Coast, and then be back already this close. At least the Kreider thing, it happened in the offseason. There was months for it to sink in. Panarin's still pretty fresh because then you went on the Olympic break. It really only feels like Panarin's been gone for a couple weeks because of the Olympic break then happened shortly after he was traded, and that was it. So it's weird. It feels like Panarin was just traded, now he's already back. That's what made it even stranger, I think, too, as opposed to other times where either the players aren't that impactful or in a Kreider situation, it was obviously very strange seeing him come back. but that was something that happened. I think the trade went down in June. He was back in December, so there was months to really kind of
it also wasn't in the middle of the season where this was a deadline deal. So
100%.
A little bit different.
So it was weird and a little upsetting. It just stinks that they couldn't win a cup with him.
Yeah,
like 7 years, like he did all the stats, all the numbers that he's obviously got in terms of ranking amongst Rangers history. I think the most points per game in Rangers history, I believe.
Yeah.
It just stinks when they show like the playoff highlights and the good vibes and where this team's fallen to now.
Yeah, the overtime, like you see
it's just so disappointing. The Carolina series, the Florida game winner,
the Panarin, two of his overtimes, Trocheck's obviously a double overtime goal. The big moments against like the Penguins that they had in that first series, and then looking at like even like the short portions of the Devil series when you kind of thought we had that.
Yeah,
obviously, the games against the Panthers that they won were pretty fun. Like I said, the Gaudreau overtime, and then obviously the Wenberg overtime. Just see, all the like the good moments from like those last. I mean, I guess it was 3 years, but I guess prior to that they're still decent. But I mean, for the most part, those from like 2021 to 22 to 23 to 24, those like 3 seasons where, you enjoyed a lot of good hockey, playoff hockey from these guys, and kind of seeing all them leave now, it's a little sad, but I guess
it sucks.
I guess like what though I will say that we are seeing some positive strides for like the next core of Rangers. Like at least I think in our lifetimes we had like the Lundqvist era, and then I would probably say like the Panarin era was the next era, and now we're gonna go into the whatever this era is gonna be.
Gabe Perreault era. Trust it, believe in it. Yeah, the Gabe Perreault era. Yeah. Probably end up with no cups, just like the rest of them.
They went to the finals, had a couple deep runs. You had the 2 like conference final runs with the Panarin teams, and like I said, now we'll see what's gonna happen. I don't know. A little bit more positive than I was maybe a couple weeks ago, but you have the 2 first-round picks. You have a couple of the young guys on the team playing well. They still need to replenish everything.
Yeah,
I don't really think they have enough for.
One good week of hockey doesn't.
Yeah, because they don't have the depth of prospects. They have like just Perreault pretty much. I mean, Lafreniere's not a prospect anymore, but I don't know. I think that we could kind of see some sort of vision, but it's just good for now just to see them playing well.
Yeah, and to be fair too, like to look at the other side of it, not to get too high. Like they beat the Flyers, they're not in the playoffs. They own the Flyers. They beat the Flames, they stink.
The Jets,
they beat the Jets. They stink.
I guess the only team
beat Toronto. They stink.
They beat the Wild, but like they literally needed like an all-time goalie performance to beat them.
Yeah, exactly. Still lost to the Devils, so that's so there is some context to the situation too on the teams that they're beating. It's not like they just beat Carolina, Tampa,
Colorado,
Boston, Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, all in a stretch of 2 weeks. So, but yeah, they're playing better hockey and guys chipping in that are going to be here moving forward, and you want to see that.
Yeah.
What stinks, and then we'll close things out. Big men's league game tonight.
Both big men.
Yeah, both of us big men's league games tonight. Last week when we got like the 70s out, you could just smell the playoff hockey in the air. Like there was nothing better.
Right when the weather, but I think right when the weather goes from like a little bit warmer to warm, then you're like, oh. April, May playoff, dude.
April, May playoff hockey. It's still like it's like the second period and it's still bright out.
I know, dude. Playoff hockey, there's nothing like it. It's the same feeling.
Nothing like wearing the jersey with the shorts on.
I honestly, I get more juiced up for like I love playoff baseball with the Yankees, but like the nice weather.
Playoff
nice
hockey.
Weather too, but I think the weather helps it too, where it's nice weather and like.
Yeah, and it's just the time of the year. Like playoff baseball is cool when you get that crisp air.
Yeah, but like the time of the year in general though, and then when playoff hockey is going on, is so awesome.
Yeah, and like after playoff baseball, then you start to get into like winter. You get to November, and that's when it's just like depressing. Like playoff
hockey is like ascending into like
it's ascending into summer. Like if your team's good enough, you're playing into June,
dude,
and you can.
I miss it, bro. 2 years is too long.
Dude, nothing was better than those Florida and like that Florida series. Like wearing the jersey, the jersey with the shorts on. That's
getting like really nervous during the games. Like your heart pumping. Playoff hockey is awesome.
It stays light out until like it's 9 o'clock and hockey's
still light
on.
After the games. If you go back and like watch our like recaps, it's probably light.
Yeah. Yeah, doing those too, the recaps.
Yeah.
Man,
We're back.
that's the biggest part I miss of playoff hockey.
We'll be back.
It's not the same when your team's
Yeah.
not in it.
We'll be back. I don't know about next year, but maybe the following year. So
Yeah, maybe.
yeah. You want to do the goal picks?
Yeah,
We haven't done these in a while. I think it's still 16-16. It's a tight race.
Yeah, tight race. We still got some playoff implications.
I'll double check when we finish, but I think it's like 16-16 still.
Who do you want to? Who should begin?
Yeah, we'll go first. Devils, Blue Jackets, Jets, and then I guess Senators. We'll do the next four.
Yeah. You know what stinks too is they got a ton of home games right now. Like this was the type of schedule too, where down the stretch. I remember 2 years ago the conference finals run late in the season, like March and April, they had a ton of home games, and it was just like if we were fighting for the playoffs now, it's the time. Like you got a ton of home games. Yeah, Garden would be buzzing. Said the Garden's empty.
Yeah.
I'll go Perreault tomorrow.
Okay, all right. I mean, I'd like to say Jack Hughes, but obviously I can't. Devils.
Big old goal.
I go Will Cooley. You know, keep it.
All right.
Keep Cooley.
Got it. The guest is gonna be. He scores before he comes on the show.
The special guest is he's gonna record a goal tomorrow.
Although, if you think about it, you want him to score after he comes on the show, because then if he comes on the show and he starts scoring,
it's like an off-season thing. We're not gonna pressure him coming in during the season.
No.
I go Cooley.
Especially, they still got some big games left to be played, big implications
for our goal picks.
Yeah. Columbus, I'll go Mika.
Oh, Mika Magic. I think we didn't do this guy last time, surprisingly, and he was hot, so I'll go Laugh. I'll go.
All right.
Laugh getting a goal against the Blue Jackets.
Dude, every time I still want to say Panarin, because we used to just force pick Panarin. Yeah. I'll go Laugh against Winnipeg. Scored last game against them, so
all right,
I'll go Laugh against Winnipeg. I'll go after you there. Columbus Laugh, Winnipeg Laugh.
All right, I'm gonna be banning Miller for the rest of the season. I'm not gonna be using him.
Yeah.
I just want to put that out there. Against the Jets, we'll go. I'll take Mika.
Mika Magic. Ottawa, I'll go Mika.
Oh, that's a good one. Damn, Ottawa. He probably will score against Ottawa.
Do we go to this 12:00 noon Winnipeg Jets game?
I don't think you can pay me to go to that game.
Tickets at $70.
I will go Perreault against.
That's
Perreault.
Still a joke. $70 is still way too much.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
You couldn't pay me enough money to go to a Ranger game right now, but can you at least make them $50? Like, come on.
I guess it's also like the real sale market. Like, it's not really the Rangers making those prices.
Yeah, it is also a day game, so that probably plays a role.
All right, so let me just so I can remember this. I have Cooley against the Devils, Laugh against the Blue Jackets, Mika against the Jets, and then Perreault against the Senators. And then you have what do you have against the Devils?
Devils, I got Perreault.
And then you have Laugh, or no, you have who do you have against the Blue Jackets?
Blue Jackets is Mika. It's Perreault, Mika, Laugh, Mika.
Okay, double dip in the Mika.
Yeah,
okay,
it's working, kind of.
All right, so hopefully we go 4 for 4 for both of those.
All right, quickly before we end, who you got for March Madness?
I mean, I went to Michigan State, so I'd like to say Michigan State. Unbiased. I think Arizona just like running through teams right now, so I'd probably say that. But they do play Long Island though. Fins up.
Yes, LIU. Fins up.
But I got
the pride of New York.
What do you got?
I got Illinois. It's the year of the freshman. Keaton Wagler, year of the freshman.
I can see Illinois getting upset in the first round. I don't know.
Yeah, Penn's good. TJ Power's a dog.
That's what I'm saying. Dude,
but
dog.
I'm trusting Brad Underwood and Keaton Wagler. It's the year of the freshman.
Yeah, that's
give me Illinois. I'm probably going to regret it, but it's okay.
You got to be bold.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be bold. All these people picking 4-1 seeds in their Final Four. Got to have a little bit of a mix-up. Yeah. I got Illinois, Arizona final. Final Four is Illinois, Duke, Iowa State, Arizona.
Okay, I like it. I think I have Houston and Arizona.
That's what everybody's told me. Nobody likes the Illinois pick. Nobody.
Hey,
nobody. People are fine with the Final Four.
Stick your pick. Stick your gun.
Illinois.
Stick your gun.
Yeah, I'm sticking to it. So if Illinois didn't have to face Houston, I'd feel great about it. Because after Illinois, I think the next team would be Houston. That'd be like my second pick.
Big Ten basketball.
I do have my main bracket's Illinois. I do have a bracket with Houston winning. But
I like it.
Anyway, that'll do it. I gotta leave. 7:30 exit for the men's league game.
Big men's league game's nice for us.
Yeah, big men's league game. So that'll do it, and we'll talk to you soon.